Or what happened is we go on our website one day, or like it's exploding. The traffic is so crazy today. We're like 100 times, 200 times more than usual. And they're like, where's this traffic coming from? We had no idea how to figure out where it came from until someone sent us a link of her latest video. So then she has a segment of like 5 minutes in her video where she makes just such a smoothie as you're making now.
Wow.
And like, hey, you could go to Rawnice, here's the link to their website. And that was like the first time the business kind of blew up, and we realized that there's something to this.
You make a start?
Let's start.
Okay. Jesper.
Yeah.
Finally, we get to speak.
Yes, it's been a long time coming.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a nice morning. A lot of snow here in Stockholm, so that made the journey here a bit fresh and nice and bright.
Yeah, it's super cold outside. Very unusual for Stockholm.
Yeah. So I wanted to take some time of yours to really just have a chat about business and wonderful story you have, and talk about the products, how you're doing with Shopify, and learn what we can about your story, really. And it's very inspiring.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so welcome, and let's take it from there.
Sure, let's do it. Yeah, I'm ready.
So you have the products around. That's probably one of the best things to start with is let's just talk about what you've created. And we have an example here. I mean, they just made that for us here in this amazing cafe. We should mention the cafe, actually.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Mahalo. So it's on Hornsgatan in Södermalm, Stockholm, Sweden. It's actually super. They just remade the whole venue, so it's super nice.
Fresh in here, yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice. And we have here a smoothie bowl that I'm about to test.
Yeah.
So tell us about the product that's in this smoothie bowl right now.
So what's in here is actually our first part. So the like to break down the concept of what we're doing. I'm still trying to figure out how to pitch our products. Okay, but we've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
So what it is? It's you know what superfoods is, like spirulina, matcha, all these different types of superfoods that have this.
This is a superfood bowl, I guess.
Yeah, it's superfood. So it's a smoothie bowl. So it's a mixture of fruits boosted with these types of superfoods to give it extra nutrition.
Right.
So what we're selling, just to give the kind of brief overview. So here's the pink pitaya. We sell them in these type of retail packages, and then we have bigger packages for bulk. Like the one you're using now, it comes from a bigger package for B2B.
So that pink one is this pink one here?
Exactly.
Okay.
So what it does, it has all these extra vitamins and nutrients like regular superfoods, but with this, we used to call it like Superfoods 2.0. So what it does is we've removed all of the like spirulina has a really strong taste to it. It's not a very pleasant experience.
It's like drinking pond water sometimes.
Exactly. And you just kind of hammer through it to get the nutrients, but it's not very enjoyable. Yeah. So what we've tried to do is to kind of remove that nasty taste that comes with superfoods, so that you can have the same boost of nutrition without that flavor. And the other thing that we've done is we've only sourced superfoods that have a really vibrant color. Okay. So that's very unusual. Mostly it's like green or brown, or it has this like really dull color that makes your food look like sewer water.
This certainly looks very appetizing. This color it's the first thing you go for. It's probably, if you tested like 50 people and put this bowl in front of them, I bet you the first scoop is the pink.
Yeah, it looks so nice, and that's been a big help in our marketing is the visual aspect of the product as well. That it looks so nice, and if you look at our Instagram, it's crazy what people can create with these, because now we have a range of like 10 different colors, so they all have unique health benefits and nutritional profiles together with different colors.
Yeah,
so
for sure. I looked at your webpage a few weeks ago, and the first thing that hit me the moment you arrived is just the quality of the imagery. Because of the bold colors you have in the products, it really helps you to market the business.
Yeah, it's made it almost too easy in the beginning.
Okay.
Because of the virality of the visual product.
And it complements with Instagram extremely well.
Yeah.
Since the visual element there is strong. So that was, I guess, one of the first channels you went to?
Yeah. So to give a bit more context before we go into the rest of the stuff, so the company was founded by my wife, Hillian. So she couldn't be here today. We have a baby at home. So she's stuck with the baby, so I'll represent her. But she's the genius behind all of this. So I used to say that I'm just the muscle and she's the brain.
Okay.
And that's kind of how we operate. So she came up with the idea in 2015. And she just kind of came up with all these different concepts and the marketing channels as well. So she started building the Instagram page. And in the beginning, she did all the images herself. And if you go back to the beginning of the Instagram page and all the content that we used to make, it wasn't very good. It looked like you did it yourself.
Right.
Because she's not, she's good with cooking. But
it looked homemade.
Yeah, it looked really homemade. And like making something that looks beautiful is very difficult. Like making this bowl yourself is difficult on its own.
Yes.
And then framing it and taking a nice picture for Instagram, that's like taking it 3 steps up. It's like so difficult to make that look nice.
For sure.
It takes a lot of practice. So we work with an amazing team of content creators around the world now, and they're so talented. And we have our own like in-house creator. Her name is Anna, and she's also fantastic.
Okay, so you're producing content yourselves, and you're getting user-generated content coming through, and that's feeding the system. And how many followers do you have on Instagram now? Then, if that's one of your main channels.
So we just passed 200,000 followers, which is for me it feels insane.
That's a big audience.
Because I know when we were at like 200 followers, or when Helene was at 200 followers.
Nice.
And like it's grown exponentially.
But what's the engagement like? That's the magic.
Yeah. So we have been struggling with engagement. We're doing different like challenges, and that's really cool. You see the audience really come to life.
Okay.
So we try to reactivate and like do more stories and like interactive things as well.
Take it to the next level.
Yeah, like more videos. So it's a mixture. So. But engagement is important. That's correct.
Yeah, you got to add that in with the number. The big number is impressive, but engagement is critical.
Yeah, that's it. Like I would rather have a highly engaged. That's how we look at email marketing. I just cleared out like 20,000 people from our email list.
Wow.
That were like non-engaged.
That took some discipline to do.
Yeah, we saved the contact, but they're not active in the list.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think I'd rather have a high open rate and click rate and like feed the system with those numbers instead of showing low engagement.
Yeah.
So.
I just left my phone on the side there. I'm going to grab it.
Sure.
So.
No worries. I'm going to take a sip of coffee.
Yeah, that gives you a second. Don't want to lose that on a
Oh.
bad way to start the day. So it was Instagram. That was a natural place to go to first to market the business. Anything else? What other channels?
In the way start, like early start?
Yeah, or from since the start to today, what's worked for you?
So we have done a couple of things. I can go back. I think most people that haven't started like in the beginning, it's more interesting to talk about the early stages than like where you are now. It's like looking at a bodybuilder and telling them what they're doing when they're already.
You need the inspiration, but you also need the practical side too. Yeah.
So I'll give you a quick brief of what we did at the beginning. So I think Helene was really good. She's like not afraid to try things. So she's like, I'm just gonna do it. So one of the things that she did early on was she sent out for collaborations. So she sent out, she like started messaging people on Instagram to be like, hey. So now we're back on Instagram, but it's like a sidetrack on Instagram. But she started messaging people that had like 500 followers and be like, hey, I really love your content. I think you'd love these products. Can I send you some? And if you like it, post it and use this hashtag or whatever.
Nice.
And that way she got in contact with so many people super early on in their careers. Mm-hmm. And if you look at those accounts now, they have like 60,000, 100,000 followers.
Okay.
And they're like friends of the company. So like really catching people early instead of going for the big accounts has been a really good thing for us. And then
combined with the platform itself being early.
Yeah.
That's an important point.
Yes. Now it's more difficult now as it's been a couple of years.
So there's new platforms to do the same, replicate the same
like
idea.
TikTok is a really interesting example to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So, but that was one of the things. And then another thing she did, also collaborations, but differently, she sent out some press kits. So there's a girl in Sweden, her name is Therese Lindgren. She's one of the biggest YouTubers. And she's also vegan. And we talk to a lot of like vegan audiences. They're really like open to healthy stuff and this type of food. So she reached out to her and she was like, I admire your work. I think you're a great person. I'm just, I'm Helene. I'm this. I work full time at another job, but I just started this side hustle. And I think you would love these products, And there's no pressure in any way to share this. I just wanted you to have it. So she ended up, or what happened is we go on our website one day, or like it's exploding. The traffic is so crazy today. We're like 100 times, 200 times more than usual. And they're like, where's this traffic coming from? We had no idea how to figure out where it came from until someone sent us a link of her latest video. So then she has a segment of like 5 minutes in her video where she makes just such a smoothie as you're making now.
Wow.
And like, hey, you could go to Rawnice, here's the link to their website. And that was like the first time the business kind of blew up and we realized like there's something to this. So
And that's a bit of a double-edged sword, potentially, or a paradox. You have that like validation really early on, like a hit of, like a drug hit, like into the business, where it's like, boom, we're onto something, let's do it. How do you maintain that momentum? That's tough, right?
Yeah,
I guess
it's really difficult. So we did a couple of things in the beginning to kind of keep it going. So when we launched, we had just this one product. We launched 200 pieces of this. We like bought the raw materials and then kind of combined it with like stickers on the packages ourselves. It was super like ghetto process. It's a bit more refined now, but in the beginning it was really ghetto. So what we then did after that, most people, they didn't get it. There's like, you sell this, you're a company that sells this pink powder. That was how people saw it then.
Okay.
And maybe they bought it once and never again. And it's like, it's difficult. And it's like the price was, with the shipping, it's like, it was just weird.
It was all about the look rather than the actual quality of the product, what's inside it, what it can do for your health.
Yeah, a bit like that. But also the business model, like, hey, are you going to spend like 200 Swedish crowns, like 20 bucks on a product? And then with the shipping, it's like a difficult business model as well when you have those low order values to kind of maintain and build a business out of.
Right.
So what we did is we started adding more products. So we have another 2 here. So another thing that we did, we just added like these. This was the second one, the blue, and then the third one was the indigo.
Okay.
And when we added those, now you have like, oh, it's a range of products. There's actually a thing. Like there's a concept here, not just a pink product. So that was kind of the next step for us.
So you can upsell, cross-sell, increase the average cart value per transaction.
Exactly. And then Helene, I consider her first couple of moves here like genius. So she's like, oh, people like to eat this out of bowls. Why don't we just buy and start produce coconut bowls? So we have these bowls that are made out of coconuts. I have one somewhere, but maybe we'll have a look at that later.
Nice.
So you have these super eco-friendly, like recycled coconut bowls. Look super nice. It looks like you're in Bali on the beach,
but
in your kitchen. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So she started bundling products to be like, hey, we're going to sell these 3 together with a bowl at a discounted price because you buy more. And now all of a sudden,
every time you do this innovation, it's another reason to contact those influencers as well and say, hey, we have a new product. Would you also like to check this one out? Exactly. Send it through so it keeps that active.
Yeah, so that's Therese, the influencer, the big one. She did another post on the blue product, for example.
Okay.
So that's kind of how the snowball got rolling. Like we started building momentum with the small audience, and then we did product line extensions, and
that's smart.
Yeah, thank you. I don't take any credit. It's Helene. I did the work, but Helene had all the ideas.
Did you say you were the muscles? She was the brains, you're the muscles.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think now it's a bit more even as she's so stuck with the baby. I also have to try to be a brain sometimes. But
Fantastic. And you have a Shopify store.
Yes.
And how's that working out for you?
It's probably one of the best moves that we've done in the business. So we launched on, it's called Squarespace. That's actually like a blog platform with an integrated e-commerce solution. That was okay in the beginning, like those days when Therese did the post about us, when we kind of blew up in the beginning, we had that platform and it worked okay. As soon as we wanted to sell in multiple currencies, or if we wanted to do like there was just a lot of limitation, like shipping zones, discounts, there was a lot of restrictions because it wasn't an e-commerce platform. And I didn't know about the options. I did look into a couple of different ones, but I ended at Shopify because I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, and a lot of people talked about Shopify in the beginning. This was like 2016, so it's like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And Shopify wasn't very, if you look at the stock market of Shopify in the past couple of years, and look at 2016, it wasn't very big.
No.
So yeah, we just kind of started, and I loved it. It was like plug and play. It was so easy to get started, to set everything up. It's all there. Building a store is nice to make it look super professional. Yeah,
exactly, because you've got the front end, the site looks great, and I'm trying to think of the theme that you used based on. Do you remember the name of the theme?
I think we are using one called Debut or something.
Oh, Debut. Okay, so you did a lot of work on Debut. Was one of the free themes that you've spent a lot of time.
That's one. But then the current one that we're working. Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember either, but it's a good one.
Yeah, it's really.
It looks amazing. I'm sure people will go check it out. But it's also behind the scenes of a Shopify store. I mean, it's really about, as a business owner, what is the experience like processing orders, uploading new products, controlling stock. How do you find that? How do you find Shopify's with that?
I think it's so easy. We're a bit of a team now working together. So I try to do try to teach people how to do different tasks, like how do you change your shipping zones, or now with the COVID restrictions, there are a lot of countries we can't ship to, and that's changing every day. So how do we teach someone to do that? So I just did that yesterday. And you could just screen record for like 1 minute. Like, hey, you go here, you click this setting, you drag this thing, you cross this button, and it's done. Yeah, and you can just refer back to that video. Yeah, it's like super, super simple.
What I always say is that Shopify is built by retailers first. They literally scratch their own itch and develop this platform for other retailers. Whereas a lot of the other e-commerce solutions out there, they're built by developers.
It feels also like a blog platform with plugins, right? And it's not, the center isn't there. I think, and also there's two more things that I love about Shopify that we use a lot. So API integrations we have with our warehouse, for example. When an order is placed, the data is just automatically, by magic, sent to the warehouse, and they pick it and ship it. There's a tracking number generated that's sent back to the customer in Shopify with the thank you email of the order with the tracking number. So, and that just works.
Do you remember the app you're using for that? Or?
That is actually a custom-built integration by the warehouse platform. We use a warehouse platform called Ongoing, and they have an API integration.
They already built it. Yeah. Makes sense for their business.
Yeah, and then we have, but also apps was the second thing. So, for example, we're doing currently a sale where if you spend $50, you can pick a free gift out of an array of gifts. And I was sitting yesterday and okay, we need to figure this out. I go in the App Store, find the app for it, install it, change a couple of settings, and it's done. It's so simple to add customized features. Yeah. I want to have a countdown timer because the sale ends in 3 days. Yeah. And that's done in a couple of minutes.
I remember when we first met, I sort of said to you, dude, I think there's too much going on here promotion-wise. Yeah. It's overwhelming. There's so much going on. But that's what Shopify gives you. It gives the ability to experiment, to try something out for a week and then pull back if it's not working, which is what it's all about when you're starting a business and growing. You've got to try things. Yeah. And what you can't do is spend 50 euros or 500 euros or something, or 1,000 euros with a developer, a few hours with a developer every time you do an experiment.
You don't even know if it's working. Here you can download an app with a free trial. You can evaluate, is it worth the cost? And just remove it if it's not.
Yeah, and the beauty is that that app's probably got millions of dollars going through it already.
And you can have live support chat you can talk to, and they will help you customize your store, make it look integrated. There's so many benefits to Shopify. There is some, the only negative thing is the language and currency stuff. That's improved so much.
They're solving that now.
Yeah, it's so much better now.
And the currency side is much better now with Shopify payments.
Yes, you can have multi-currency and checkout, stuff like that.
You can have the IP app in there to support local currency, auto currency.
Now if you go from Sweden and it's US dollars in a store, it'll just say hey, you should check out the SE.
That's a conversion nightmare when they get hit with kronas and they see all those zeros on the price.
That's what happened on Squarespace. That's one of the reasons that we switched. So
yeah, amazing. But you do a lot of business in America, I think you said. Yeah. That's a lot of customers there.
Yes. So our biggest market is actually in North America, or English-speaking countries in general is the biggest market. But then North America is overrepresented.
So you're here in Sweden, and I guess organically it just happened that way. You're not targeting the US specifically, but it just took off in the US.
Yeah, we are targeting now because we know it works. So now we're targeting
doubling down on it.
Yeah. But in the beginning, it's just I think Helene, my wife, she's we're gonna get these healthy moms that live in Stockholm and they drink their lattes on the way to the gym. And that did not turn out the way she was expecting. This is not the case anymore. Yeah. Our biggest audience at the moment is probably stay-at-home moms in Texas. People that have a solid education, they have spare income.
Yeah, they're shopping at Whole Foods pretty much, probably.
Stuff like that. So, and they want to feel, here's something fun, here's something creative to add to my day, add my health. It'll add a bit of nutrition and fun and excitement and so something new and fresh and things like that.
So you're doubling down on the US market. Are you running Facebook ads, doing Instagram promotions, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so we're currently on Facebook and Instagram ads, so both for stories and in-feed, everything you can do there. We're just starting with Google Shopping, so that's another one, and Google ads as well, when people search for Rawnice, because now a lot of competitors are targeting our branding.
Right. Yes. So there's a lot of people going after those customers.
Exactly.
It's a huge growth demographic.
And then also collaborators. So we figure out where are the collaborators and where their audiences.
Yes.
And just try to go for them.
And reach out just as you did at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Yeah. We need to talk about LinkedIn, dude. We've got to try that
because
I mean, but also it's like it's a different and elegant way to get to your customers, because professionals, huge reach on LinkedIn. But how do you run ads to people working in businesses that are maybe vegan-based businesses or ecological, organic
I'm
type
thinking
businesses?
like cafes like this.
Yeah.
The staff here are probably on LinkedIn.
Exactly. Think about how many cafes like this there are in the world. So it's applying the same principle that you did with the influencers, but do it with the businesses. So
true.
you'd reach out and say, hey, can I send you 20 packs of this to give to your staff? And maybe we can set up a business account if they like them, if the feedback's good, because I know in offices, they're putting juice bars in offices, and it's that kind of thing. So
that's actually really smart. I have to look into that for the B2B side.
LinkedIn is a great, as long as the key thing is that the content must be contextual to LinkedIn. Because obviously you see this now, people posting Instagram style images on LinkedIn.
It doesn't work.
And it's a professional network, so it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
It kind of like has the opposite effect. But if you can have a business conversation with the product and push out content that is educational, informative, then I'm pretty sure we could get some fresh engagement there and new customers.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm sure we could create new content as well that would be interesting for that audience.
But what about getting it into like a Whole Foods store and like that?
So we've looked at that as well.
Okay.
Like Whole Foods would be for us the dream client. At the moment, we used to be at a chain store in Finland called Ruohonjuuri. So they have 14 locations, like Whole Foods in Finland, basically. Right. So when we signed that deal, it was so close to us going bankrupt because the order was so huge and compared to everything else we're doing.
It sucked up all your cash flow.
Yeah, so the money side of things is just, it's such a big risk. Like if they were not to pay their invoice on time and we're sitting with all that stock already paid up front to our manufacturer, So we've had to do a lot of like magic with the cash flow side of the things to just make ends meet in those kinds of deals. Yeah. And I think for Whole Foods, say that we were to sign up with Whole Foods and they were to buy all of our products in all of their stores, we couldn't make that happen at the moment. We don't have enough cash to kind of make that happen. We need to have an investor, someone to kind of give us that money in advance.
We can make that happen.
So I think that's been a hesitation for us, is kind of take it a bit slow on the growth side, because if you grow too fast, it's very, like we doubled in size from last year to this year. It hurts a lot when that happens.
And it's another paradox of having your own business. It's like, how can growth hurt so much and be so stressful? But it is a common direction that companies, as they become more successful, then people want to resell the product. It's a natural evolution. But then how do you pick those resellers? Everyone is a potential huge opportunity. It's hard to figure out which are serious, which are not. And some of them are pretty aggressive, in the way they handle their suppliers. So, if you can get a good price and a good deal, then you're also exposing all your other customers. If they suck up all the stock, for example, and you have to put your online store, everything out of stock.
That's happened when we sell the whole online store stock to retailers, and then our highest margin sales channel, which is the web shop, we don't have any products for it, and everything's on back order.
And then people get frustrated.
Then you'll end up with like
trust.
At one point we had like such a backlog of customer service. We had to hire one full-time customer service person and another one part-time for 2 weeks just to figure out that mess in the customer service department, which was at the time it's just like, how are we ever going to fix this issue? We have like 2,000 emails. How are we going to reply to all
it's a high quality problem, but it's still frustrating.
Yes, and that's kind of what happens with growth. And if you have issues, say that you sell on back order and like, hey, so we will ship you this product on the 1st of January.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't happen, then you'll have 2,000 angry emails in your inbox again.
Yeah.
I
wanted to go back to something we talked before we switched the camera on. It was about like how you cope with the growth of the business and the products. You remember the conversation? Can we go back to that? Because I think that was worthwhile.
Was that about the being the first to market with your type of products? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I can give you just my general thoughts on that. So
it's useful.
What we were saying is you can take a product that already exists. Like a really smart business strategy would be, hey, this coffee cup is nice, but it would be better if this was bigger so that it was easier to grip. And then you could sell that to the same audience as an improved version.
Right.
And that would there is already a market.
Because cognitively the customer can make that leap without too much like marketing information.
Yeah, and they already know about the product. They already use the product. It's like an easier sell.
Yeah.
What happened for us, especially in the beginning, for Helene, like she came up with this idea of like, hey, I want to create a product that will make your smoothies pink. And we're like, okay, that's nice. But how are we going to get people, like, that doesn't exist. There's not a natural coloring powder with health benefits. That's not a thing yet.
Right.
So you have to kind of build that snowball and make it roll. And
Yes.
that was, and you had to figure out the concept. How do you sell it? What's the unique selling points? Who are the target audience? All of that things that we didn't know anything about. We still feel like we don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
So it's because it's always evolving.
It's this sweet spot of like innovation, but not too far from the existing customer base.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lesson for everybody out there looking to start a business. Is, you know, you got to come up with a product or a service that is as close as possible to something that already exists, and then innovate on top of that, rather than starting a brand new thing
With something no one has ever heard of.
Right.
Because it's like difficult to wrap your mind or head around something that if you don't know, have anything to compare it with.
Yes.
So I think that's something that we've learned.
And you're still figuring that out as you go, really. But it's close to, I mean, the growth sector in health foods, in health in general, health and well-being is a massive growth industry.
So much,
so you're tethered to the growth of that business.
And also the spreading of plant-based eating and veganism and all those like healthy trends.
Yes.
So we're kind of riding that wave together with them.
Yeah.
Figuring it out. And that, because new people are getting into this every day. So our market and type of, so now we have a lot of moms, for example, coming to us. In the beginning, we didn't think about that, but now people want to raise healthy kids, and that's a thing. So now we can kind of talk to them more easily as well.
Yeah, get them into it by, you know, we know that kids eat with their eyes first, you know,
Exactly.
that's generally so getting them involved. But, you know, over the years, I've been doing smoothies and juices for years. Whenever I give a smoothie or juice to a non-juicer or a smoothie, you know, they try them and they're like, oh, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, so you're solving a real genuine problem there. If you can make them taste better and look more attractive. I love those experiments they do with red and white wine. You know, you've seen that with a blindfold test. They're quite famous.
Oh, and you can't tell which is which.
You can't tell which is which, red or white, if you can't see the color. Yeah,
That's
it's crazy. So, you know, that's the power of the eyes,
Yeah.
which, you know, your product has at its core, the visual element. And, you know, quite often before bed, we're like sitting in bed, like, what do we watch to try and relax? And we'll watch something and it'll be like Gordon Ramsay or something. And you just like instant hunger. You look at him making something. So visually, you're stimulated by the look of things. So, and you definitely get that. You've done a great job on the online store to really make the products pop, and it makes you hungry the moment you go to it. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah. So how do you see the future growth in the next couple of years? Do you have a plan, or are you just rolling from month to month?
We have a vision of where we want to go.
Okay.
So, and we're trying. It's difficult because it's so hard to predict. Like Corona came and like everything is different. For us, it was better. Like people want to stay more healthy and stay at home and make food. So that's great. But it's really difficult to say where the future is going to go, but we can try to steer it in a direction.
Yeah.
So where we would want to go now is we have a lot of ideas for new products. So we've established this concept of like the rainbow superfood collection that we're selling. So that's kind of a thing now, and it works, and we know how to do that.
Yeah.
We're starting to bring in some more additional. So I have actually 2 new products that are not yet released. I have the final samples.
You didn't experiment me on that. I could have been like a live test case.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. No, so now we're going to do like, these are called, we're going to call them the Rawnice picks. So this is like a second range of products. We wanted to have a way of experimenting with new products to kind of bring in non-superfood powder things. So this is the raw fruit that you just had in your smoothie.
Oh, I did have it.
It's not blended, so it's not mixed and crushed into a powder. So if you open that, you will see like chips of the actual fruit. So this is what the powder looks like before it becomes a powder. So we're going to sell that as like a way of adding toppings on your food if you want to have a visual element or a snack.
What a great extension of the product. I mean, it's complementary. It makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like a fun way of experiencing the same product in a new light. And this is actually the butterfly pea powder, but in its raw state. So this is a flour that you can add to teas, for example, and make like infused drinks and water. So it has a lot of healthy properties.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful color. So it's just a way of like experimenting with what we already have in a different way. So that's one of the directions.
I have to say the packaging is exceptional. I mean, you guys have done an incredible job making this look professional, informative. The personality of the business really comes out in the text and the copy. How do you, I mean, that's a big investment. Like a lot of small businesses struggle with that, like trying to take their product from the home, making it look like a homemade product to a professional product you could see on the shelves of Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Like that looks like that's ready to go. That's ready to go on Whole Foods right now.
Oh, thank you.
There's no work needed. It looks amazing.
Yeah, we have I just want to give credit to our team, because I think I can't sit here and take credit for all of these things. Like, we have such an amazing team of people that are building this business. Me and Helene, we're like the first people and like the owners, but the team is the ones who built the business, I'd say, together with us. So
you can see there's a lot of love gone into that.
Yeah, we have a designer called Samantha. She's fantastic. She's such a genius, and we came up with the kind of style that we wanted together with her, but then she's done a majority of the design. It's just her brain just going crazy in all directions, and this is what we ended up with. Then we have packaging, like the production team that kind of made all of this happen. And the copy is from another girl. Her name is Shane. She's fantastic with copy. So it's just,
and are these friends of friends and just people that you've met along the way, or how do you get to know these people? Like,
yeah, so it's different. It varies. So Samantha, we put up a request. The designer, we put up a request in a network of designers, and we're like, hey, we're looking for a designer. This is our brand. This is what we want to do. We had 50 people apply for the job. She was, out of all of those, her style, we're like instantly like, yes, this is
us.
it. And it just worked. So the other people, we have actually. We don't have a team here in Stockholm, Sweden, where we live. We have a remote team. So everybody's working from their computer or their phone, and we all communicate through Slack. So we have a big team in the Philippines, actually, of 4 people.
Wow.
So we have B2B sales, customer service, products, and social media.
Amazing.
They are in the Philippines. So everybody speaks English with each other, and like we communicate daily.
Fantastic.
And have weekly meetings, everything like that.
Are they working full-time or part-time? Or
It varies from 4 to 8 hours per day. So it also depends on the workload. So it's a bit flexible with that.
Pretty much full-time, though.
Yeah. So we have
Oh.
And that was for us a good move, because having people in the Philippines means that we can build a bigger team quicker with the cash that we have. So and also they are so talented. So it's like a win-win for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just have such a nice vibe going in the family of the company.
Oh, you're doing a great job.
Now we're far away from product. Now we're talking about team. So it's
no, I mean it's all part of the challenge, right? To get it all to work together so that you can succeed. But I mean, it helps that you're so early in the business, really. But you have the packaging is beyond your years to some extent. That's my feeling when I see it. It's like, okay, this is you're putting your time into the right things, because that gives confidence in with the product. And I see a lot of companies making that mistake where they put all their focus on just the product, and then the packaging is an afterthought, and it just they lose all the hard work they put into the product in the visual representation of it on the outside. So you've nailed that.
You need the outside to sell the inside, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The concept, like the vibe of we want to communicate a vision of what we would like. Building a company is like you get to create what you want your world to look like, and this is what we would like our world to look like. So we have to build that and show that to people, for them to be attracted. So
amazing. Well, that was all the questions I had. It's been awesome to finally get to meet you and talk through the business.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to figure out some work together.
Yes.
We'll certainly be talking about LinkedIn after this.
Ooh, yes, I'm very excited about that.
I know you've got some real potential there. But anything else you want to share before we finish up? Any thoughts?
There's so much to talk about. No, yes, I'm really happy with the conversation. So just to add to like the listeners, if there's anyone still listening and you're thinking about starting a company, I think for us, the good thing that Helene did in the beginning and that everybody can take with them is like she was not afraid. She's like, I'm just going to do this and try it and see I believe in this. I'm going to try it. And it was so rough in the first couple of years. Like what we are looking at now feels like a bit more organized. It was not always like that. And that's okay. And I think just get started and try your ideas. And I think validate the idea before you invest a lot of money into it.
Yes.
That's something that we did good. Like I think Helene went in with like $2,000 of investment for the first round of product and design and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think to put a topping on that, get to see what I did there. I think that getting the validation as early as possible is an important thing in the journey, because that gives you that early confidence to quit your job or do whatever it is you need to do to get the business going.
Yeah.
But those influencer events that you mentioned that then led to like spikes in traffic, perhaps may not have turned into cash necessarily, but just that validation that the influential people out there were sharing the product and were in love with it. So I think for people starting, it's like, how do you get the product into the hands of people and not worry too much about, I'm giving it away for free, they should be paying, this kind of nitpicking thing. Because actually, if you look at the raw components of the product, the cost materials is quite low.
Yeah.
And if you think that like Facebook ad clicks now are like up
It's
to
like
80, 90
I know
kroners a
a
click.
conversion for an ad look like. It's like for us to give away a pack, we have these packages of products, to give away that and get one conversion via ads is like the same cost.
Right.
So it would be better just to build a bigger network of people instead.
But I think people struggle to make that transition because actually it's all marketing, and you should be thinking about giving away the product in a sample environment in order to, as a marketing expense, not as an operational expense.
Exactly.
It's how the supermarkets still do it to this very day. At the end of the aisle, when you see something on promotion, it's all getting people into the product to try it, and then they hopefully convert and become a long-term customer. So
I think that's important. Get the products in the hands of people. It's so hard to understand what it is and how it works.
Yeah.
So
yes, but absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We can have another coffee, and I get to finish off that smoothie bowl because it looks extremely nice. Even though I've eaten half of it, it still looks good.
That's a good thing.
Thanks so much,
All
man.
right. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Pleasure. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, bye.